100% Chelsea. I am here with Louis. We're going to discuss yesterday's atrocity.
Yeah.
If you don't laugh, you cry. 2-1 against Leicester. What's your overall impression? What went wrong last night? Because it's got to a point now where it's looking really, really bad.
I think it's a question of not what went wrong. I mean, what went right.
Yeah,
Like
nothing.
Nothing went right at all. I mean, we played okay for 5 minutes, but that's when Remy came on and scored. I mean, I thought he should have started personally.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a proven goal scorer. He's working hard. And then people say about Diego Costa, you could say he's a proven goal scorer. He's going around fighting people, and he's not doing anything other than that. Last night, I mean, I woke up this morning and I was on social media. I just saw it straight away. He told the defenders that they were sleeping when they let in the Jamie Vardy goal. I'm sorry, but he's been asleep all season.
Yeah.
He scored 4 goals. At this point, he scored, 12? 10 or 12?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. They just don't care anymore. I think the fact that a plumber or a handyman or a teacher, if they didn't work and they didn't try hard enough in their job, they wouldn't get their paycheck at the end of the week. These players are getting £100,000 plus a week. They just don't care anymore. They weren't trying. It's like Champions League. We thought every time we play, we always think we turned a corner. But we just do really well in the Champions League. And then when it comes to Premier League, we don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care. And there's no point not caring in the Premier League because we are now 1 point above relegation. And I hate to say it, it could be a reality. It could be a reality.
It's starting to look like it. I can see it at the end of the tunnel now. It's actually, who knows? It could. But you mentioned that Champions League, like Porto,
Yeah.
we were amazing, played great, and then get back to Leicester, and we're all over the place. Where's the problem lie? Why is that? Why is it there's games now where the players are just not showing up? You might find maybe 1 or 2, and everyone else is just like they don't give a damn. Why?
That's a question we're all asking ourselves. I don't know. I don't know how to defend it anymore. I don't know what to think. I mean, we are pretty much halfway through the season now.
Yeah.
Nothing's changing. I do sometimes think tactically Mourinho has got it completely wrong. But yesterday, I mean, I would have either started like Remy instead of Costa, or I would have played a similar team that played Spurs. Because that team that played Spurs are a good side, and that they've lost 1 game this season. That was the opening game against Man United, and that was an own goal they lost it by. And then obviously Leicester are at the top of the table. Jamie Vardy's on fire. Mahrez was on fire. I mean, we were talking earlier about what you were saying. Mourinho he'd studied 4 ways where Leicester could score.
Yeah, after the game yesterday, Mourinho did say in his interview, his post-match interview, he was preparing for 4 days before the game, and in those 4 days, he identified 4 different ways that Leicester have been scoring this year, and 4 movements, and 2 goals yesterday came from 2 of those 4 movements that Mourinho studied and told the team to watch out for, and we let in 2 of those goals. Again, and that's why Mourinho did say afterwards he feels like his work has been betrayed, because he warned the team about all these different situations, and we still just let ourselves open to it.
Yeah, we did. I mean, if we just studied the 2 goals for Leicester, obviously, our goal was crossing the header. I mean, it got past the first man, so that's always good. But let's look at Vardy. So Vardy, that team, that Leicester team, they just seem to know where they are all the time. They can just pass the ball and they're already there.
Yeah.
So an example is Vardy's 11th goal, so the record-breaking goal against Man United. Okazaki had already passed the ball. Vardy knew where it was going, so that they're on the same wavelength. Vardy was not being picked up by Zuma. Zuma was about 2-3 yards away and just putting his hands out, holding and waiting, and giving Vardy way too much space. The guy is aggressive, he's fast, and he's agile. If you give him too much space, he will score. He will score. His motto is and everything, and all of that. Maybe people may take it as a joke, but that guy, I have a huge amount of respect for Jamie Vardy because of where he's come from, and how and where he's got to. I've got huge respect for him. And they just fell asleep. They were asleep. I mean, it wasn't Diego Costa's place to say it because he's been crap all season.
Yeah.
But they had fallen asleep and they were punished. But then Mahrez's goal was like he's been doing it all season. It's cut in, shoot with his left. He's left-footed, and just Aspilicueta just gave him too much space.
Yeah.
And
let him cut in.
Exactly.
If you're going to do something, try and push him out.
Exactly. If you do anything, you just got to shadow. I mean, I'd say obviously it's not the same level, but I'm not the quickest of players. And then when it comes to taking on a player who is a lot quicker than me and is a lot more agile, I just know straight away you do not dive in for a tackle because they will go around, and you do not. If you do it, you stand off, but you don't stand off too far away. Aspilicueta was standing off far too far away, and he gave him time on the ball. You shadow them out of play. You put them where you want them. That's the way that you can obviously stop goal scoring opportunities. And obviously he didn't do that. Cut in on his left, have a dig, hold it in bottom left, top left. Sorry.
See, that outlines what's. It helps to explain a bit what's wrong. It doesn't take a genius to notice that against Leicester, you have to. And I said this in the preview. We have to lock down Vardy and Mahrez. There's, those are the two. If you close them down, you shut off pretty much 70% of Leicester. And they were the two probably most open players for Leicester. It doesn't take a genius to work that out. I'm sure Mourinho told the players that, you got to watch out for Vardy, Mahrez. The whole of the nation knows that right now. So why are we giving them space? Why are we leaving it open? Why are we showing too much exposure? I don't understand. And I don't know how we fix this. I really don't know how we fix this.
The only way you can fix it is we either we've got to play some different people like Dilaboji. I know it's a risk.
Dilaboji,
yeah.
Well, about changing it up, would you agree that this 4-2-3-1 should be scrapped?
Yes, definitely, 100%.
What would you go for?
4-3-3, easy. Well, actually, no.
Well, there's 4-3-3, 4-4-2.
I reckon. No, yeah, I was thinking that. Maybe why not a traditional 4-4-2, or even though it's difficult to pull off, maybe a diamond.
You need to be on the top of your game to play a diamond. Once upon a time, we were playing a diamond.
I think it's just something that it should be considered. We are. As it stands, we just need to try something different. Anything is better than what's functioning at the minute.
Yeah. Who would you drop? I mean, because it's evident there are loyalty issues, I think, in our team. Yeah. Based on last night, there are players who are not playing for the shirt or the badge, or they're not showing as much passion. Who would you drop and who would you play?
I'd drop Ivanovich.
Coming from you.
No, I know.
No, go on. It's fair.
I know coming from me, but I mean, I thought maybe he'd started to get better again, or he was starting to maybe rediscover some form, and then yesterday, he was dribbling. He was dribbling at one point.
He was
dribbling at one point. But another thing I noticed, I think someone who was attacking, I can't remember which Leicester player it was. He fell over. Okay, he fell over.
Yeah. And
the ball went about 10 yards away from him. Now Ivanovich was closer to the ball than he was. He still beat Ivanovich to the ball, and he fell over. So he had time to get up, dust himself down, and go after the ball, and he still beat Ivanovich. Yeah. He's never been a right back. He's not a right back. We bought him as a centre back from, I think it was Sparta. It was Sparta Moscow, wasn't it? We bought him as a centre back. And as a centre back, I hate to say it, but I thought Benitez was onto something with Cahill, Ivanovich as centre back. I thought that was a pretty solid partnership. But personally, I would drop Ivanovich at right back. Mm-hmm. I'd put Aspilicueta on that side. But I don't know about Baba Rahman. That's the thing. I don't know.
He shows desire.
He does, but
he's not ready. But he shows desire.
He does, but he gets caught out a lot.
Yeah,
gets caught out a lot. So maybe I don't know. Personally, what I would say right now is, if it was me, I would recall Thomas Callas, because he can play as a right back, and play Thomas Callas at right back. And I mean, he worked okay for us when he has played. I mean, I remember when he played. I know it's 2 years ago, but still, I mean, he played for us against Liverpool, didn't he? And we beat him when Steven Gerrard looked over, and he looked okay there. So I'd start Callas if it was me. I'd recall Callas and start him at right back. But because we can't do that, I guess, maybe I'd start Zuma right back. I think he's not right back either, but we don't really have many options. I'd start Zuma right back, Cahill, Terry. We don't have many options.
No.
Or Dila I don't know. Maybe Dila or Cahill next to Terry. Because if we lack leadership when Terry's not playing.
Yeah.
And I mean, they say Ivanovich is the second most senior player, so he becomes the captain. But he's not doing what he needs to do.
Yeah.
So if you're not leading by example, there's no point in leading, in my opinion. So personally, I obviously keep JT until we find someone who could come in and fill that gap. Then I start Aspilicueta at left back, drop Fabregas. He's too slow. He's too slow on the ball. He's shocking. So
I mean, from that midfield, like last night, I can't pinpoint one player who was good.
No.
Even I said this in my review. Willian didn't have the best of games, but I can't blame him because he's been carrying the team.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
But it's just come at the wrong time. Everyone else is just out of order.
Yeah, I completely agree. But we don't have many options at the minute. I'd start Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah.
And Matic. I think Matic needs to play because if we lose Matic, we look even more shocking.
He needs to step up though.
He does, but we don't have another option.
No.
That's the thing. That's the annoying thing at the minute. We say these players need to step up, but because they don't have anyone to really challenge them for a place, they just don't care.
Would you? Well, January is round the corner.
Yeah.
Would you go absolutely mental in the transfer market?
Oh yeah. What sort of question is that? Of course I would. Of course I would. I think go back. John Stones again. I know people will laugh, but he's now had a 38 million buyout clause put into his contract.
You see, the bad thing about the transfer window now, it doesn't look like we're getting Champions League football. That's going to affect massively. In the summer, that wasn't the case, so we could have gone out for anyone, and we did. We even went for Pogba. But now we're clearly not going to be in the Champions League unless we win it this year.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it was shocking transfer dealings. I keep going back to it. When we sat down, I said, I'm worried we're going to do a City.
yeah,
We've done a City, but
more.
we've done a City, and it's gone by. Oh, I mean, they said they were the worst champions. I think we can safely say we are the worst champions in
we've
Premier
set the
League history.
record.
Yeah. It's just we need to. We've got the money. We've got the funds. We just need to heavily invest. Back in for John Stones, another striker, Griezmann. Not Pogba. Griezmann's not a striker. Griezmann, Aubameyang. I know that we're not guaranteed Champions League football, but the way we can sell ourselves is, we're wanting to develop. We want to do this.
Yeah.
That's the only way we can now sell ourselves.
It's what United tried to do.
Exactly. Well, it worked for them, didn't it? It worked for them. I mean, Man United are obviously they have a different attraction. We can offer, obviously, living in London and that lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Manchester United are a big, we are a big brand, but that's Manchester United.
Yeah.
It's sort of, Manchester United are probably behind Real Madrid the biggest brand in world football, and they obviously had that to say, you're playing for Manchester United, you're playing at Old Trafford. True. That's what they have to offer. We have living in London. As a footballer, I don't know. As a person weighing it up, I mean, Manchester is very up and coming. Yeah. You can't just say up north's terrible anymore because it's not. Yeah. You got to be realistic now. Obviously, you've got Manchester, which is very up and coming, and then you've got versus London. Obviously, people still pick London because London is a hub. Yeah. That's as a person. As a footballer, if someone said to me, if both teams were not in the Champions League and both were performing terribly, and said, would you rather play for Manchester United or Chelsea? This is not as a Chelsea fan. This would be as a football player. Let's just say I'm some kid from Argentina. Yeah. Would you rather play for Manchester United or Chelsea? I think I'd go to Manchester United. I think I would. Yeah. And I know what people are going to be saying about me, like being a Chelsea fan and saying I'll go to Man United. Don't take it out of context. I'm saying this as a...
No, it's true.
I mean,
it's like when Real Madrid come calling.
Exactly.
No matter who you play for, and this is what I think is starting to happen with Hazard, and I'm going to come to him. When Real Madrid come calling, you can't refuse.
No.
Because the moment you play for Real Madrid, you're in the history books. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Talking about Eden Hazard. Apparently he was injured.
No.
There's a lot of doubt about that. And there's a lot of criticism coming from Chelsea supporters as well, saying, I don't quite think he was injured. He landed badly after that tackle which he didn't get a free kick for.
But he didn't. He wasn't that bad.
Well, he landed on his hip, and he's saying he has a hip problem. He walked off the pitch. Marino said, "You can go back on. You look all right." He said, "Okay." He went on. Ball came to him. Didn't even touch it. Walked off the pitch and said, "I'm sorry, I can't," and got subbed off. So he subbed himself off. Do you think he's legitimately injured, or do you think he was putting that on?
It's a difficult call. But I just remember we've had some stuff come through on social media, haven't we, from a guy who showed Hazard getting substituted off in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Marino goes, tap him, say, "Well done." Hazard just pushes Marino's hand down. So obviously there is an issue there.
It's deep, though. I'm sorry. If you fake an injury when your team is in need,
you're
out the door.
Oh no, definitely, 100%.
Don't get me wrong. If he is legitimately injured, I wish him well, and I hope he gets better. And but the big if he walked off the pitch, putting on that injury, even if he was a little bit hurt, but deep down he knew he could have carried on, and he didn't. Might as well make 100 million out of him.
Yeah, but we're not going to make 100 million.
Well, I don't know.
I doubt we're going to make 50p out of him at the minute. He's I remember there's all sorts of things about the last time Eden Hazard scores going around on social media. Yeah. The last time he did this, someone was like this. The last time he scored, there was this in this country. The last time this happened, it's Hazard is. If like you're saying, if he's injured, wish him well.
Yeah.
But I don't have time for players like that. I mean, I was talking to Daniel about it on the way home. It's just they just don't care anymore. I mean, when Terry needed a shoulder to cry on, he would turn to Drogba. When Drogba did, he turned to Lampard. When Lampard did, he turned to Cech. It was a cycle. They all turned to each other. He's the last one now.
Yeah.
And it's hard because we all know that deep down, he's the one that's hurting the most. And if I was him yesterday, I would have been stood in that tunnel entrance saying, "Well done to all the Leicester players," because they did deserve it. Leicester do where Leicester are, they deserve to be.
Yep.
But for every Chelsea player that went down that tunnel and didn't go over to the fans,
yeah,
I would have been blocking the tunnel and saying, "You go over there and apologise to those people." Yep. Yesterday cost me a fortune. Yep. It cost me an absolute fortune. Now you multiply that by the thousands of people that were there, and this is when I get annoyed. This is when the cheeks start getting red, and the face starts getting red, and the steam comes out. It's when people don't care. Yeah. If they gave 100%, I'll go, "Well done, lads. You tried. Yeah. You tried." But when you don't care, that is when I hit the roof. Yeah. It's such a half-hearted performance. It was poor. Absolutely shocking. Yeah. And if that's what our season's going to be, I've already written this season off. I'm already there going, "You know what, nothing's going to happen this season." Like you're saying, like Dan's saying, like Max is saying, like we're all saying, just play some kids. I know it's not going to get you top 4 football. We know that. But at least we're going to have a feeling where we might have achieved something, where we've developed a player. And I know that's not the Chelsea ethos. I know that isn't. We all know that isn't. We all know it is by the strongest players. But that only goes so far. Because we had a core of, like John Terry was the heart. He is still. But that heartbeat is starting to slow down. Yeah. That you need.
And that old spine has gone.
Exactly. That whole you're playing for Chelsea. This is it. He was a Chelsea fan growing up. And the next thing that we have in that is available, we had McEachran. Yeah. What happened to him? The next one now is Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He's been at Chelsea since he was 8 years old. And he's 20 now? He's been in our youth system for 12 years. He needs to get first team football. He needs to play. And that way, if he's playing, if Kennedy's playing, if all these young players are playing and, they're getting experience, they might actually be doing well. I can go... If we lose, I can put my chin up and say, "You know what? They worked hard. They showed a lot of grit," which is what they do when they play. Yeah. And then I can hold my chin up and say, "You know what? Well done, boys. Well done." I'll be upset, of course, but
at least they gave it their all.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. You look at it compared to players like Fabregas. He doesn't care. Costa doesn't care. August, he's just going to fight people now, telling the defenders they're asleep. Get lost. I've had enough of him. Don't need him anymore. Ivanovich, he's past it now. JT
coming to his end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just we need to look at everything, and it just needs to be change. Something needs to happen.
All right. Well, we can both agree to end this. Things need to change. Play the players that are hungry, that are willing to give. No matter if they're ready or if they're not, or if they're up and coming, if they're willing to give it their all, they deserve to play.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Exactly.
And we're probably going to have to dip into the January transfer market. I think yeah.
Dive, not dip.
A big dive. And Diego Costa can go and fight Anthony Joshua, as far as I'm concerned. There we are, Louis. Thank you for this. Thank you for discussing Leicester Chelsea. Hopefully we start winning. Fingers crossed. Let us know your comments in the comment section below. Do you agree with what we've said, what we've outlined, and what we think needs to be done, or do you have any proposals of your own? Leave it in the comment section below. Subscribe to 100% Chelsea. Check out this guy on Twitter at Louis the Boogaloo. Check out all the 100% Chelsea social media links in the description, and we'll see you really soon. I'm just distraught because it's disgusting, and it's a shambles. It's an absolute shambles for a team who calls themselves champions to show up like that. Absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. They should be ashamed of themselves.